Hello again, you're watching Everard Junction, and this is the first update for 2014. So I hope you all had a good Christmas and a good New Year, and I hope that the New Year will bring lots of modelling to YouTube and more layouts popping up around the place and more ideas and bits and pieces. So looking forward to it. So this is going to be a general update of what I've been doing over the Christmas break, as well as a couple of new arrivals I've picked up for Christmas, and general bits and pieces that I'm making progress with. So the biggest change is a track alteration to the scrapyard. Picked up a bit more track over the Christmas break, and I've just been adding some more track in to give me a little bit more flexibility in terms of operation of the yard. So if we come round over here, the biggest change is that we've now got effectively a passing loop on the branch line. So the idea is a train loaded with wagons will come in from British Rail. It'll then stop, drop the wagons off, and it can then join back onto the main line and leave. Then the shunters and sentinels and stuff can come out of the shed I'll be building on the hard standing area. They can come out, go into this head shunt up here, change this point, and go back down there into that head shunt, change that point, and they can come across and collect the wagons without going out onto the main line. And it also just makes the yard look a bit more interesting, a bit more realistic. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of track work going on. Pretty much all works. I've got a couple of dropper wires to add in and a few alterations, but it's pretty much done. Picked up a few new arrivals as well. First one being the Hornby Sentinel, which is making its way down the branch line temporarily at the moment. I'm still running it in. And I've also picked up some of the traffic services polybulk wagons made by Bachmann. Another welcome addition to the layout is a Bachmann Class 08 shunter. Been waiting for them to release it in BR Blue again, and they finally did last year, so I asked for that and managed to get it for Christmas. It's a nice little model, it runs pretty well. I adjusted the pickup slightly, they weren't quite touching the backs of the wheels as nicely as they could be. But other than that, I haven't really done anything to it yet. It will be weathered, obviously. I'm going to make it look nice and faded. 08s, especially blue ones that were still blue in the late 80s, hadn't really been painted or repainted or touched up at all. They were very rough and ready. And the blue had faded and you could see bits of undercoat, and it was generally quite a washed out sort of light blue. Some good pictures on Flickr and various people's websites where you can see 08s in quite a shoddy condition. So I'm going to try and replicate that with this blue one. Somebody asked me in my last video whether or not I'd had DCC'd any of the Hornby or Pico Intial frog points in the yard, and the answer is yes, I have. The majority of the point work is electro frog. So here's one, another one there, another one there. That's electro frog, and there's a curve point up there as well, which is also electro frog. There are, however, a couple of Intial frog points, and they are here. I had them lying around and I thought might as well reuse them. I needed the tight radius to get the sidings that I wanted, so I just made do with the Intial frog points. Now to DCC an Intial frog point, you can buy these little clips. I think Hornby make them, and they're just springy metal clips, and they go between the outer and inner running rails and make the point live. They are, however, very small, and they easily ping off or get lost. So what I've done is just got some bits of wire, and I've actually soldered them to each rail just to get a better contact. And so far, even with the Sentinel, they prove pretty reliable, although they do need a bit of a clean. Here's another look at those polybulk wagons. These are a fantastic addition to the layout and really fill a gap in freight modelling from this period. They've been in the pipeline for a huge time. It took them ages to bring them out, but they finally got released towards the end of last year, and I've picked up a couple of those, and I'm really pleased with them. I've got the Traffic Services Limited livery and the Traffic Services Polybulk livery. There is one other colour you can get which says Polybulk in big yellow letters. That's also appropriate for this layout, but by the late 80s there weren't many left in that particular livery. They'd all been repainted. So I'm going to make do with the two colours I've got going on at the moment. I've also been doing some more weathering. These are my steel wagons, made by Bachmann, and they were very, very bright, vibrant wagons, very orange, and they didn't look particularly realistic. I've looked up a number of pictures, and they range from being absolutely filthy to a light coating of grime, depending on the age and when they were painted. These wagons would have been relatively new, introduced probably in the late 70s, early 80s, so I haven't gone too mental on the weathering. I've just dulled it down. I will be putting the steel loads back on. I've left those downstairs for the time being. But you can get a closer idea there of just the light dusting that they've received. Just tones them down, but they still retain the interesting colour scheme. I've also had a crack at my Dapple Ferry wagons. I've done 2 so far. They're not finished yet, need some more streaking and some more grime on them. I don't know if it was the nature of what they carried or how they were unloaded or what, but these got really dirty. Now, I found pictures of them where you can hardly see the actual logo and blue stripe along the side because they're so black. I don't want to quite go to that extreme level of weathering, but I want them a bit grubbier than that. But they're starting to get there. They're starting to look quite good. I've also done some work on the BR Mark 1 mail carriages that I have. I had running issues with these due to the nature of them being very light, so I've added some weight in a couple of key carriages, most notably the one at the front, and they now seem to run a lot better. I've also done some weathering. You can see here these OBAs are looking nice and grimy. We'll take a closer look at those when we have a look at the Sentinel in more detail. So that's pretty much everything I've been doing. Still got quite a lot to be getting on with in the new year. Lots of buildings to work on and extra detail to add. But looking forward to it. Hope to bring you more videos in the future and continue doing what I'm doing. I wish you all the best for the new year, and I'll be back soon with another video. Thanks.